everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean, this is In The Mixer, Unlucky episode 13, but a very special day because this episode is coming out on Christmas Day. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, happy holidays. I hope you're having a wonderful time. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, I don't know what hemisphere is, I've eaten a lot of hummus today. But Northern or Southern Hemisphere, if it's hot, if it's cold, whatever it is, I hope you are getting to enjoy some of the holiday period and celebrate it with the people that mean the most to you. Thank you, if you are watching on the day of Christmas during travel or whatever, for checking this episode out. Or if you're watching 3 months down the track in a playlist or something like that, happy Secretary's Day, or whatever else it might be around this particular date. Massive episode today. Let's jump straight into the game and see how we've gone so far. Alright, so as you can see, 25 games played. We are sitting top of the division, level on points with Hyde in second spot. From our 25 games played, 15 wins, 4 draws, and 6 defeats. So definitely not running away with the league the way that we have over the last 2 seasons, but still more than enough to be competitive. We have had a variety of squad changes. We have had a whole bunch of new people come in. We'll go through the results first. 100% honesty, I actually did try and record an episode, this Margate game and this Fareham game, to do our Christmas episodes. Because it was Christmas Day, that seemed very poignant. But for whatever reason, I forgot to pause Spotify. And then when I went to edit the video, in the background, as part of the desktop audio capture, it was a whole bunch of music that definitely would have gotten this episode copyright stricken. So we're just going to play the next 2 games. They are the first ones in January 2022. We'll play Kendall in the league, who are currently in 19th. And then Spennymoor, who are our second round FA Trophy opponents. They are currently in the Vanarama National League North, which, if we get promoted 2 more times, is the league that we should head into. So it'll be good to see exactly how we stack up to that level of football, and how far we have to progress as a club to eventually get to, like part-time contracts. Some teams in division on professional status, like all that sort of stuff. It's a big jump between the lower league, Step 7, and Step 6, which is the Vanarama National and Vanarama North and South. Since that last episode, we played quite a few games. We did, of course, beat Trafford 4-1, and then were humbled by then top of the table Mask 4-1, going down to 10 men in that game as well. We followed it up with a 2-0 defeat, and then I kind of made some tactical tweaks, made some additional signings, and managed to turn it around. Some good league wins, some good cup wins, a couple extra defeats in there. 1-0 to Stafford, who are a bit of a bogey team for us, and then Prescott, who are definitely a bogey team for us. They've beaten us both times we've played. At the same time, we've managed to continue getting through the Integro Dudson League Cup and also through the FA Trophy, beating Margate, who are in the division above us. In the last episode, that does see us get the game against Spennymoor, which you'll see today, and then a good 5-1 win against Fareham. The way that we achieved those results, after having kind of like a middling November period, is by making a couple of tactical changes. It's a little bit similar now to what we played with last week, or last year, apologies. Also last week, if you're watching the episodes, each day they come out. So we're playing kind of the 4-2-4, focusing on wing play regardless of where we're playing. Still in our positive mentality, still the same for our cautious, still the same for our attacking. It's just the player roles that we've kind of amended and changed to suit who we had. We didn't have a natural covering defender or a natural stopper, so we're just playing the 2 centre-backs on defend duty. We've taken our wing-backs and made them full-backs just so they're a little bit more defensively minded. And we've pushed the 2 wingers on to try and break space between the defensive and midfield lines of the opposition. It seems to be working quite well. There's a few new faces that you may have seen here. Edon Prudy was one of the players that was on trial at the club the last episode. He signed on, which is great, at Bosnian Youth International. Very good player, left-footed central defender. I always love left-footed central defenders. Partnered with right-footed ones, I just think it gives you really good balance. Ex-Burnley Junior, he's been excellent since he signed for us, and his form has propelled us up the table quite a bit. We've also signed Alex Hunt, who's playing as a box-to-box midfielder. Excellent attributes for the role, probably the most technically gifted player we've got. Ex-Sheffield Wednesday Junior, hadn't played for a little while when we managed to pick him up, and 2 goals in 5 appearances from midfield is pretty excellent. And then the 2 big guys up top, Omprion is absolutely fantastic. 21-year-old Nigerian Youth International, 4.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Has played at both Sheffield and Chelsea in his developmental years. 5 goals so far in 8 appearances. A couple of those were off the bench because he did pick up a knock early on. He's the entire reason we're using the false 9 in our shape and formation. It's a rare role that you'll get in lower league football, so I want to try and use it as much as possible. And we're also signed Kieran Phillips from Everton. Everton has been a fantastic ground for us to try and pick players up from. Think of like Charlie Ball, Nathan Baxter, a few of the other early players that we've had. Excellent finishing, heading, passing, good off the ball movement, good composure, a real proper goal sneak forward. 21 years of age, 4.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. Hopefully he's only played 3 games and scored 1 goal for us so far, but if he and Omprion can get a good partnership going, I think we're going to walk through the majority of the rest of the season. Otherwise though, not a tremendous amount of change. We've got a lot of hectic fixtures coming up. I think we're going to focus on the FA Trophy game in this episode and then let pretty much both our League Cup and FA Trophy competitions run through without being in episodes, and we're probably going to focus more on the league itself. We've got a massive couple of fixtures like Felixstowe and Hyde that we play probably in the next episode for the Thursday fixtures, the Boxing Day fixtures, and then we might finish off the season on Friday. If there are any cup finals, we'll come back and do them over the weekend. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we've got to get past Kendall today. I'd love to get a good performance. I'd love to be able to speak English properly. I'd also love to give you guys a good performance. After that 4-1 humbling, you kind of do want to respond as quickly as possible. They're playing a flat 4-4-2. No real players or no players that I have face packs for. They look to play a very similar structure to us. Wingers in wide positions. Ezekiel Eme on the left wings, they're leading assist getter. Harrison up top, they're leading scorer. James Harrison. It looks like a relatively young side as well. There's only one person I forgot to tell you about in our lineup, which is Marcel Vuzovic, I think is how you pronounce it, or Vuzovic. I just call him Wussy. 4 heart-star current ability, 5-star potential, 21-year-old goalkeeper, ex-Burnley junior. We've picked up a lot of them. Just a massive improvement on what we had in goal previously, so we had to pick him up. Let's go into the dressing room, tell everyone passionately, let's give the fans the performance they're expecting. Let's also assertively tell our defence. We think there's a lot more to come from them, just to give them a bit of a boost. When we get clean sheets, we tend to win our games, because we seem to find the back of the net with regularity. They've got a very narrow looking pitch here in Kendall, but we have got the first highlight. Aris with the ball in behind for Phillips. He goes for the strike. It's a good save from O'Connor, who pushes it out for a corner. Hunt will take the resulting corner. Deep one across. Liver's Edge gets it away, and the highlight comes to an end. Deep corner. Deep for a kick from Hunt here again. Back post runner. It was Pruti, I think, who just headed over. Highlight here. D'Souza picks up the ball in defence. Goes back to Vucevic in goal. It's going to go long forward. There's no one out there on the right-hand side, but Prudy with a very good challenge. Aris has gotten goal side, and he can square it up to the 6-yard box. Instead, he strikes himself from distance. We've got them set to wingers on support, and we've got them to shoot less often, and they still shoot from wide angles. It's driving me absolutely nuts in this year's game. Deep ball across, headed away by Curtis. Sloan brings it down at the top of the box for Kendall. Cullen with the strike, the first real strike angle we've seen for Kendall as a side. We're going to use our Get Creative shout with about 10 minutes remaining. Just try and inspire everyone to try and find a goal before half-time. Deep free kick here from Hunt. He's looked out to the wide right area. Nobody read the run though. Emu picks the ball up on the left wing for Kendall. Inside to Harrison. Now to Fairclough. Looks back for Emu again, who has gotten goal side. He's in a wider area though. Touch inside. Good save. Does very well. Does Vucevic in goal. Corner from Hunt again. Deep one towards back stick. Prudy with the header at the far post. Puts us a goal up. The referee's running back to the middle, which is usually a good sign that it's going to continue on. We've managed to find that goal before halftime. Hunt with a good ball. Deep one across towards back stick. Prudy just gets in front of the defender and pushes that one back across the goalkeeper. They didn't have 2 men on the post there. If they had have, maybe they would have been able to get that one away. And we finish at half-time, a goal to the good. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. No need to get down on anybody. And we're just going to try and fire through in the second half. We'll give it about an hour before we look at subs or anything like that. Throw in here, Tuname to take. Cut back to Cullen. Squares it up for Harrison. Gets the strike away. It's well defended. Hunt with the ball now. Switch isn't very good. Cullen cuts it out. Salmon plays Fairclough in a wide area. Just stand him up. Cuts it back to Salmon at the top of the box. Sheriff gets it away. Omprion now. Tries to turn, but Cullen recovers the ball again and then puts it into row F. O'Connor, deep ball. Played forward towards Austin. His flick on header's poor. Sheriff cut it out. Back to the goal scorer, Prudy. Plays a lovely ball out left to Aris, who can square it back up. Instead, he goes for the strike from distance. If he had just rolled that across the 6-yard box, we had 2 strikers there ready to tap it in. Hunt now. Going to take the corner. Aris back to Hunt again. Eme, it's a poor cross. Eme is going to make the counter attack here. Long ball forward. D'Souza with a good header. But Tuname, the right fullback, recovers. Salmon now plays it down the channel. D'Souza cuts out the ball very well again. Back to Vucevic. Is that the end of the highlight, or are we going to see some possession here? Brandy with a poor flick on header. Eme, Vernon looks for the crossfield switch, but D'Souza's done very well in this passage of play. Cuts it out again. Brutal ball forward towards Omprion. He does very well to bring it down. Looks to release Phillips in behind. He has gotten goal side. Can he find the finish? Rounds the keeper superbly. His 3rd goal of the season for us in, I think, like his 4th or 5th appearance. And he has put us 2 goals up with about 30 minutes to play. It's a lovely way to pass there from Omprion, just in behind the defender. And once he picks the ball up, he accelerates away from everybody, takes himself around the keeper, who got his angles all wrong as he came out. And an excellent, excellent finish. That's what we want to see though. We did talk about in the build-up, trying to get that combination play between the 2 forwards. We're going to give Aris a bit of a rest here. Bring on Cole Roberts for the last few minutes. We'll give Suarez a bit of a run as well. Just 2 fresh leg players in the wide areas. just to try and get us through to full time. Not worried too much about the scoreline. I really just need the 3 points at the moment. And if we look at the other games around the place, I think Hyde are winning their game as well. Throw in here, Phillips to Suarez, the sub, back to Phillips again. Curtis can knock a deep ball towards backstick. Roberts has come off the bench, put that one straight at the goalkeeper. O'Connor with a good save, pushes it over the crossbar. We've used our get creative shout as well. Hunt to Roberts, deep one across. Chima's in there and his header just clips the crossbar, but it was the top of the crossbar. Didn't really look like challenging the goal. Throw in, Curtis plays inside to Hunt, back to Curtis again. Looking for the ball over the top. Omprion challenges. If it's going to fall to Hunt, who looks out left towards Roberts. The fresh sub. Can he get this one back on his right foot? He doesn't even think about it. He tries to drive with his not favoured left. Didn't look like challenging the keeper. Curtis, back to Hunt. We've had a good little passage of play here. Suarez is going to keep it in. Or Soares, however you want to pronounce his name. O'Connor recovers. They've left men forward. He might try and go long. Curtis should be able to bring this one down and does very, very well. Phillips to Soares, back to Phillips again. He's gotten himself goal side on that right-hand side again. Can he find the finish? It's a poor effort. O'Connor did a bit better that time. Came out early. Just had to pass that one into the far corner. Here we go. Hunt to take the resulting corner. We've done all right from set pieces so far this game. It's headed away. Sharif will tidy up. Sharif cuts back inside. Looks for Chima and the highlight comes to an end. Hyde currently winning their game 1-0 against Hebburn. Come on, Hebburn. If you can try and equalise, that'd be great for us. Sharif with the ball now. Sends Roberts over into the left-hand corner. Tries a first-time ball. It's closed down by the defender, but he's recovered it well. Plays it towards Phillips, and Phillips with the flick-on header gets his second goal of the game. 4th for the season. And we'll check this one out in 3 dimensions. I'm pretty sure Roberts gets a little bit fortunate. The defensive line just playing a poor pass out from the back. It's Salmon here. Just tries to play it inside to Tunam, who's not looking. And Roberts just hangs that one up towards near post. And Phillips, with a good flick-on header, gets him his second goal. And pretty much stitches up the 3 points for us. They've got a free kick here, Vernon to take from distance. It's not a bad effort. You'd like to think the keeper had it covered, but you never can tell. Last 10 minutes, let's use our demand wash out, just to give everyone some focus through to the final whistle. D'Souza with the throw-in, finds Sharif. Cullen goes through the back of him, who is on a yellow card. They may be about to go down to 10 men here, which is fine. That should pretty much settle the contest as far as we're concerned. I'm not worried too much about pushing on any further, so we'll leave our positive mentality in place. O'Connor, deep free kick. Omprion with a free header. Tunam, back to Vernon. Looks for the ball over the top. We've let it run for no reason. Harrison's gotten in behind against the run of play. It's a good save from Vucevic. Big Vusi in goal. Does very well. 4 minutes to be added on. We're through most of that now, and the referee calls full time. A good 3-0 win. A thoroughly professional performance. 21 shots, 10 on target, 51% of the ball. 11-6 and 49% for Kendall. And it puts us in pretty good stead, assertively, let's say. Very pleased with the result and the performance. Just boost the morale as much as possible, but it does put us in good stead ahead of our away trip to Spennymoor. We're not going to try and do anything crazy. We're just going to go pretty much with the same structure, pretty much with the same mentalities into that game, and we might go after them a little bit. Isle of Man secure victory at Parkside Road. Alex Hunt getting the Man of the Match award with his 1 assist and a 9.0 match rating. Let's praise his work. Quality and chances was fantastic, and we are now 7 games in a row without losing, which has been pretty much the reason why we've moved up towards the top of the division. But you can see still incredibly tight, still Hyde nipping at our heels here. Only separated by goal difference, so the game against them in the second half of the season is going to be huge. Magic of editing, we can jump forward to the game against Spennymoor now. Alright, just like that, we are a good few days ahead, and they have some very, very good players here. No changes for us. I think it's an unchanged lineup. Curtis still continues at right back with the suspension to Walker, our usual right back and captain. They've got Harvey Neville, who I think is Phil's son, Gary's nephew, ex-Man United Junior, who's quite decent. His contract's up at the end of the season, so we'll keep an eye on players like that, just because he looks to have relatively high ceiling and still relatively young. They've also got Max Taylor, who's got a really good footballing story. I think he actually survived cancer. I don't know which type, but Man United Junior, still playing in their academy, gets released during the course of the game. Very good player. You can tell because he's got very high wages, despite playing semi-professional football. Motley Henry looks decent. Barnsley, right winger. Good pace, good acceleration. Nathan Dale, 22 years old, ex-Middlesbrough junior. Looks to be a quality player as well. Mark Halstead, the oldest player that we've looked at so far, 31 years of age. Looks to be very, very good. Ex-Blackpool junior coming through. Vassallo up top. 20-year-old ex-Sheffield Wednesday, who, like, they're players that we've picked up quite a bit. So they've definitely got some quality. They've definitely got some ability about them, and it's definitely a jump up in terms of opposition. Let's assertively tell everyone, I want you to pick up where you left off last time out. It was a good performance in the last game. complete with goals and a clean sheet. If we can carry on similar form, and they might take us a little bit lightly, they might actually be rotating with that many young players out there. If we can take advantage of it and get a decent result, though they are in behind here early. Iqbal bursts forward from midfield. It's a good challenge. I think it was Sharif there initially, but Iqbal the first one. Zidane Iqbal, an excellent name. First one on his toes, back to the ball again, and he pretty much passed into the back of an empty net. It's a good exchange and a very good overlapping run from the midfielder. He's actually tackled Sharif and then managed to somehow, Sharif and I think it's the left back D'Souza get mixed up, and Iqbal smashes that one home without really any challenge from Vucevic in goal. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it as part of a comeback. Spennymoor will have a corner here, Motley Henry to take. Away by Sharif, but it's out towards Iqbal, the goal scorer. Back to Motley Henry. Good tackle by Brandy. Looks to release the ball up the line. The highlight comes to an end, so who knows what was going to happen. D'Souza into Sharif. Back to D'Souza again. Sends the ball into the channel for Aris. Taylor plays it all the way back to Halstead in goal. Long ball forward. Sharif with a header, but Motley Henry's the one that cuts it out. Cuts inside. Good tackle from D'Souza. Ramshaw will tidy up again. Finds the overlapping run of Harvey Neville very well. Cuts it back. Good header away. Hunt tries to flick it on. We just can't seem to get it out of our own half at this point. Motley Henry with the ball now. Steps inside, bursts past one challenge, looks to release for Solo on the left-hand side of the box, and Vucevic with a good save from the angle puts it out for another corner. Motley Henry to take, deep one towards the keeper. Vucevic does very well. Is that the end of the highlight? It is. Another corner again. Prudel with the header away, or Pruti. Clearance towards Omprion, who has picked up a bit of a knock. We've got an overlapping run there, but he didn't honour it in time in the middle. Beats one man, puts a good ball back in across, and Brandy with the finish puts it straight at the goalkeeper. It's a good save from Halstead, to be fair, but a decent counter-attack there. Hunt to take the resulting corner, finds Aris short. The ball in is poor. Sharif should tidy up. Just play it around the corner. Instead, he wins a free kick. I thought he conceded a foul then, but we don't get to see what happens with it. It's 15 minutes remaining. We're just going to go attacking just to see what happens. See if there's any big change to our stat line here. Might also use a get creative shout. Deep free kick, headed back across, and then Omprion had a chance just to poke it into the empty net, and it's just over the crossbar. A few of the players have responded well, which is what you want to see. Got another highlight here. Hunt with a deep free kick. Brandy gets it in. Now here's where the danger is on the counter. Vasolo burst forward, skips past a couple of challenges, carries it down the left wing. He's got men joining him in the middle. Sharif did very well to stay with him and then play the ball up the line from Brandy, who can turn. Instead he plays a poor ball in midfield towards Iqbal. It's very disappointing. Motley Henry now steps inside the defender into the 18-yard box, gets the strike away. Billam could have kept that one in. He lets it run out for the goal kick. For the corner kick. Disappointing play there from Brandy. I think he came into the side as one of our star players at the start of the year, and as we've picked up more players, I think we're slowly realising that Brandy isn't necessarily as good as perhaps his star rating necessarily tells us. Neville with header away here, and the highlight comes to an end. Thrown on the right-hand side. No one tracks Sartorius into the wide area. Deep ball across. Billam with the header, thankfully just over the crossbar. Another corner here. There's been a lot of corners for Spennymoor. We've defended most of them pretty well so far. Iqbal, Billam, and they've gotten their second goal. So at least we know at half-time we're going to fire a bit of a rocket, get aggressive, see if the hairdryer treatment's going to do the job for us. We have had a few more highlights from set pieces and stuff since being on attacking. We'll have to have a look and see exactly how we're doing at half-time. It's just a little ball into the space there. Maybe one of the defenders could have got to it a bit quicker. Sharif's put a big shift in though defensively. It's an immediate highlight here after moving back to our positive structure. Prudy puts a ball out wide for Brandy. Can he find the right ball back into the box? Towards Aris back post. He manages to get his head to it. It clips the crossbar on the way out, but it looked like the keeper had it covered. Hang on, what are they showing us this for? Brandy just hangs the ball back post. Good header. And yeah, clipped the bar on the way over. So why are we seeing that as a replay? Must have been some weird glitch. That's one of the weirder things I've seen in Football Manager so far this year. Phillips, deep ball towards Aris again, gets the header across, and it, again, just over the crossbar. Alright, let's go into the dressing room. Let's aggressively tell everyone, show me something else in the second half. Let's also go and switch back to our attacking mentality. Curtis has played poorly, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him, and he's got a yellow card. And then Omprion also has a knock, which is a bit of a worry. I think we might give everyone 15 more minutes, see how they go. It's a big game for us. They are a higher division side, and we are going to be working from underneath, trying to come back here. Deep free kick here for Hunt. Can we pull one back and make it interesting? Prudel with the header. Cleared away. Hunt should recover again. Can we get a deep ball back in? There's a man wide open at far post. Instead we played across to Sharif, who looks for the switch that time, and it's well over hit. Aris now with the ball. Back to Sharif. Hunt looks for the overlapping run of Aris. It's cut out. Sharif sends it into that corner again. Aris this time he's got it. Can he square it up? Instead he goes for the strike from distance. This shooting from fucking angles is doing my head in. Alright, Omprion we're going to take off because of that knock. We don't want to risk him too much. We'll move to 2 poachers because why not? We'll take off D'Souza. Oh, we can't really take off D'Souza because of his yellow card. We'll take off Chima as well for Sears. Just get rid of the yellow cards. It's passionately to overrun. We've got faith in them. And let's also use our Get Creative shout. 30 minutes remaining. Let's see if we can just pull a goal back. Get ourselves back a little bit of pride. They've got a deep free kick here. Iqbal's added a second, but he should be ruled offside. He went way before the free kick was taken. And yes, I think the referee's called that back, which is the right decision. 10 minutes to go. Throw in to Neville. Back to him again. Goes to try and go around the man. D'Souza does very well to cut it out. Aris plays a ball in behind to Hilton. Hunt now has time and space in front of him. Plays it out right to Brandy, who again coughs up possession. Hawley gets in behind from a wide area. Gets the strike away. Pretty did very well to come across and close down the angle. 10 minutes remain. Let's use our demand more shout just to give everyone some focus through to full time. Throwing from D'Souza here. Finds Hilton. Into Taylor. Can he find the switch? Instead he goes reverse pass to D'Souza. Puts a good ball in towards Phillips and it's managed to find its way in. But they've ruled it out for offside. I think it was Phillips was offside, but I don't know if he actually touched the ball in the end. But he might have been obstructing the keeper. 3 minutes to be added on. We're through most of that now. Is there going to be any late highlights before the referee calls full time? There are not. Spennymoor go through 2-0. So that's kind of the marker as to where we're at in terms of divisional structures and stuff. We're a good team in our division, but we're not quite playing at a Vanarama North level yet. 19 shots, 8 on target, 50% possession for Spennymoor, 17-5 and 50%. So we by no means disgraced ourselves. Assertively, let's say, unlucky boys, would have been nice to win, and everyone has responded positively to that, which is good to see. It does mean our FA Trophy run comes to an end. We are still in the League Cup, which we'll of course play off screen, but I think the main focus for this season is trying to stay towards the top of the table, getting ourselves promoted up into the higher division. Moors get the better of FC Isle of Man. It was Zidane Iqbal, the guy who got the first goal, eventually gets the Man of the Match award. Ex-Man United Junior, actually. Very interesting. Omprion's only out for a couple of days, which is good for us. And then, what are your thoughts on Stoneham? Whatever. Who cares about them? Well, let's go and have a look at the schedule. I think I briefly mentioned it earlier, but I think we're just going to come back and do the game against Felixstowe and Hyde. That Hyde match is going to be massive for the season. So hopefully we continue our decent form for the next few games at least and get to a good position against Hyde where we can potentially look at securing first place, or potentially, if we do drop off a little bit, get 3 points back against them. It'll be a massive episode because Felixstowe aren't a mile off the playoff positions either. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. That's the portion that means the most to me. If you did want to get me anything for Christmas, you can drop a like on this video to celebrate whatever holiday you feel like doing. You can also subscribe to the channel if you want to be kept up to date on future videos as they continue to be released. There is potential that we're going to take some time off next week because I'm actually away for New Year's, but if I can get videos pre-recorded in that time and get them out, I will of course do that. Like I said though, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mix-up.